Yo, what's happening, my people? I hope you guys are all doing well. Today, we're going to go through top 3 fantasy performers on the weekends, all the games, and then we'll run through my team and how we performed over the weekend. So I hope you guys enjoy, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into the video. So first of all, as we do every week, we do the top 3 fantasy performers over the whole weekend. And unfortunately, this is going to be the last sort of week we're going to be doing fantasy. So pretty much for the rest of the season now, I'm going to be just talking about the final series. Every Wednesday, I just go through each game and what I expect, what I thought of each team and how they perform. So this will be a fun video to do anyway. This is the last one. It's been great doing fantasy content with you guys. I'm definitely doing it again next year. And get excited. I will be better, bigger, better, stronger. Yeah, it's going to be so fun. All right, top 3 fantasy performers over the weekend. We had Clint Gutherson with 94 points. We had Dane Gagai with 89 points. And we had Adam Dewey, who your boy had 86 points. Amazing game from him. So before we go through my team, we're going to go through the team list of the weekend and who I like out of both games. So first of all, we got the Eels versus the Melbourne Storm. And in this one, I really like the Eels. The way they're coming into the contest, they're coming off a really high win over the Broncos, and they looked really damaging. The offloads that those boys were throwing around was just like unreal. Pretty much their whole team list, top to bottom, is the same. With the Melbourne Storm, I would like to see a little bit more punch from their strike players. They had a really, I think it was a really good game last week. It was a close game against the Roosters. And I think this week coming into it, they're going to really want to take it to the Eels and really get their spot back in the comp and get their momentum running for the finals. So I'm going to go the Melbourne Storm 1-12 in this one. I do like the Eels, though. I think the Eels are going to be really, really nice. But, yeah, I'm going Melbourne Storm 1-12. Next game, we got the Bulldogs versus Eagles. And this one's going to be, well, for me, the Bulldogs. So I really like the Bulldogs in this contest. I think, the Seagulls have really dropped off for the last couple of weeks and that. They've really just not looked great. They got KO Weeks in that fullback there. Vega's getting another shot at that wing spot. Other than that, nothing too crazy. Andrew Davies there. Dylan Walker playing 13. Joshy Schuster still on the bench and stuff. With the Doggies, pretty much top to bottom. Braden Burns in that center position. Yeah, and Tavita Pangai Jr. in that 17 role. So I got the Doggies. I'm going to say the Doggies 13 plus because I think they can really put a number on these boys. One of the biggest matchups of the weekend, we got the Roosters versus the Rabbits. And the Roosters so far, the last couple of games of the season, they're really tuning up for the final series and they're looking really, really good. Players like Luke Keary, Sam Walker really stepping up. James Tedesco's always been there. So we got Moborowski playing that wing spot, taking over Tupou. So Tupou's out for a little bit with, I think it was a groin strain. With the Rabbitohs, I thought they played okay over the weekend. They played really not I think that was more so the Cowboys defense shutting them down and showing how to shut them down. You just need that really good line speed up that edge. That left edge is still killer though. When you have Cody Walker and Latrell coming together and have Alex Johnston on that wing, it's really, really tough to stop. Other than that, I think the Rabbits, I don't know. This is a really tough one. I'm going to go the Roosters in this one. Roosters 1-12, but I think it's going to be really, really close. So it's going to come down to the last of it. So Rabbits fans, don't take that, Yeah, Roosters 1-12. Next game, biggest game of the weekend. Let's go. It's the Wars versus the Titans. We're at Mount Smart. We're back home. After last week's performance, we started off really decently, I thought, anyway. Having players that are ball players in the forwards, Tohu Harris and Joshy Curran and stuff, really opened up the Panthers to start with. And then Reece Walsh got that really nice try there. Other than that, not too much really to take back from. We had a couple of calls I really didn't enjoy in that game, but, that's the Warriors season overall. I'd like this team top to bottom. Jesse Arthurs is coming back. I've always thought Jesse Arthurs should be our other center on that side. Last week, we had Valia on that other wing, other center as well, and he's been actually performing really decently, I thought, over the last couple of weeks. It's a bit tough, to take that Panthers game, but if you're thinking about the games before that, I've actually thought he's been playing really, really decently. But we got Rocco Berry back in that number 4 spot. Guys, come on, let's just get behind the boy. Hopefully he performs really well. It's a Mount Smart Stadium. Everyone's going to be behind him. So, and we really need to take this one home. This is the way I think our forward pack should most likely be. Bunty Afoa, again, shouldn't be that 13 role. I'll have legit Joshy Curran to push into that 13 role and bring on an Eli Katoa on that second row and bring Bunty off the bench. I think Bunty's so much better off the bench. He brings momentum through the game. Him and Murdoch Masila are our really big forwards that come off the bench. Another player, we're going to watch him for the next couple of seasons, I think, but Tom Ale, I really rate him. against the Panthers last week, he looked really, really good. Like, just the energy he runs with as well, and he's really hard to stop. He's very low center of gravity. I'm really enjoying what I see from him. So with the Titans, obviously coming off that massive win last week as well, they can put so many points on people, but then they can also let teams back into the contest. But good to see that AJ Brimson and Tanner Boyd are still in that halves role. Jaden Campbell is in that fullback role. We have Marju and Jojo Fafita there. Philip Sammy is filling in for Brian Kelly, who's going to be out for a little period there as well. So Sam McIntyre at that number 9 spot, starting 9, is a bit of a quirky one, but surely there's someone else there. I'm going to go the Waz, bro. We're at home, man. I'm going to go Waz 1 to 12. Hopefully the boys really turned up for this contest. Next game, we got the Dragons versus the Broncos. And the Dragons, so coming off last week, it wasn't a very convincing win. They got the job done, so, you know, well done to them. But against the Tigers and that, the Tigers pretty much had that game all the way through, and they just find a way to lose games. And the Dragons just like, yeah, I don't know. So there's a couple like, you know, Sloan at wing. I'm not too sure. Like, I'd have Sloan at fullback and Ramsey at wing, but you know, Ramsey's been proven to be actually okay fullback as well. Jaden Sullivan at number 9, like, again, like, I don't know, he's a half. Like, Jaden, if you watch Bud in like New South Wales Cup and that, like, he's a really, really good half. Unfortunately, you got Benny Hunt there, so you can't really put him there. So maybe at a 14, but yeah, I don't know. With the Broncos, I think they just need to come back this week and just stamp their authority. They need a big score to actually get into the finals, depending on if the Raiders win or not. If the Raiders don't win, they're in. Like, if they win this game, they're in. If the Raiders win the next game, they need to put like a 40-point, 50-point score line. And unfortunately, the biggest one there is Tyson Gamble's in for Mam. And yeah, I don't know if I could, I could be way wrong, but I don't agree with it at all. Like, if you think Mam's the problem, and unless Mam is one of those two people that are coming out and sooking about getting like chopped up by Kevy, but I think Mam's been really, really good. And like, honestly, missing the amount of tackles he does, we also got to look into his inside man. So Catewell has been missing over about 6 tackles a week. So it's putting a lot more pressure onto his halfback. So you put any other half next to him, like, that's going to be second row is going to be missing tackles. He's going to miss just as many tackles too. He's a smaller body, a lot of big bodies running at him, especially with the couple of teams that have been playing the last couple of weeks. He had Jerome Hughes setting up players on his outside, which was Nelson, Big Nelson. And then with the Roosters, Sammy Walker or Kiri were just putting big boys on him the whole time. And, you know, when you don't have that inside man that's really helping you out as much as possible. I'm not saying Catewell's a bad player. I think Catewell's an amazing player. I think he just hasn't been performing well. He's not going to perform well as either. Like, and his attack is better than Tyson Gamble. Love Gamble's like enthusiasm, but if you want to score 50 points and try and get the finals, you need Ezra Mam. It just doesn't make sense to me. But other than that, we'll continue on. You know, that was just my thoughts anyway. If you pair up a good second row that's going to make defensive tackles for the benefit on that side, sort of like Ola Kawatu helps out DC so much at Manly, even though DC does have his like defensive lapses. DC doesn't miss too many tackles because the first point of contact usually Ola Kawatu, and then DC will come in with him. So I don't know. That's my thought anyway. So moving on, I'm going to say the Broncos win this one. They need to win this one. I think they look, I don't know, the Dragons, yeah, I don't know, either way, but yeah, I'm going to go Broncos 1 to 12. I don't see him getting 13 plus, especially with Gamble at 6. I really don't. Saturday's game, we got the Cowboys and the Panthers, and quick one, we'll touch on the Panthers. Like, you know, they beat the Wars. They killed us, man. They looked really, really good coming back off. Like, we put some points on them to start, like, well, only 6 points. We put a try on them to start. And they just really just fell back into place and just took us out of the contest. They're pretty much named all their New South Wales Cup team here. So we'll have to see how they go. They performed really well in New South Wales Cup. They ran second. So really excited to see how those guys go. With the Cowboys, I think the performance wasn't too bad last week. I think the Cohen Hess sin bin was just bonkers. Like, these days, I don't know, you can't stop so many things like with head collisions and stuff like that. And it just happens. We're in contact sports, man. Like, it's crazy. But other than that, like, they got dudded with a couple of calls there. And I thought the Cowboys played really, really well. And they showed their fitness all the way through. Again, no Dearden in this one unless he's named in reserves. He is named in reserve, so maybe he will come back because we still see Fidel at number 6. I would love to see, Dearden back there because Fidel, unfortunately, he is not a 6, and I don't think he defends that well at 6. He still defended really well after that Kalamatangi miss, but, it is what it is. In this one, I got the Cowboys. The Cowboys should get it done 13 plus, but knowing the Panthers, the way they train, the way they work, I'm going to say it's going to be 1-12. Like, I think the Panthers are going to really turn out really well. First game on your Sunday, we got the Knights and the Sharks. And the Sharks is the one I want to touch on more so than the Knights. The Knights just haven't been playing that well. Getting beat by the Titans the way they did. And the only time they really came back with a lot of points is when Brian Kelly got sent off. So, that was wild. With the Sharkies, I'm really enjoying looking Lockie Miller. He's a really touch of class at the fullback there. Other than that, that whole team's performing really, really nicely. You got Ikavalu on the wing. You still got those boys like Molitalo and Talakai and Ramian. Nico Hines and Moylan's really come together well, and that forward pack is just a bunch of grinders. So I'm liking the Sharks in this one. They should go 13 plus. And last game of the weekend, we got the Tigers versus the Raiders, and probably one of the most important games of the weekend, especially for the Broncos and Broncos fans. The West Tigers, honestly, I'll give you my honest opinion on this. I think the Tigers, they're able to do this. It's just whether they just not try to lose this game. And with the Raiders, they do have a dip in them, but I think the Raiders, they're coming out for blood. So they should be able to put 13 plus on the Tigers here. Not really much else to touch about. Both these, the Tigers really haven't been performing that well at all. Top to bottom, there's not much else there other than Adam Dewey's performing really nicely. Luke Garner's back in that center role. Interesting. Faimunu Brown is still 13. Interesting. With the Raiders, this is their chance. If they dud this, they don't deserve to play finals anyway. I really think they should get 13 plus here, and I really expect them to. But weird things happen in rugby league, man. Weird things happen in rugby league, but we're going Raiders 13 plus. Yeah, we lost both our grand finals. Unfortunately, we left our worst game to last from the last 4 weeks. So we got 798. Shocking score. You could already see the couple of players that really didn't perform here. It is what it is. We made the grand final after having pretty much, I thought it was not the best season at all. We really got dudded. I started off with Adam Finor-Blake and that, and I held on for those boys for way too long. So next year, your boy's going to be a little bit more switched on there. But yeah, not really much else to talk about there. It is what it is. We got dudded. Just silly decisions from me, and it's fucked our season. So well done to the boys that won the grand finals. You killed it. Your teams are beasts. I thought the boys were going to play really, really well here, but, it is what it is. So rounding out how we performed on the weekend. So Nico Hines with 112 on a captain. Underperformers, you had Luke Keary, Munster with 18 and 24. A couple of our boys, big boys here, only getting 45s. Harry Grant with 40. Marnie with 25 after a thrashing with the Broncos. That was a weird one. Dewey killed it with 86. We did try to loop Fidel, but he didn't score too well. So I ended up pulling Pollard in there, and he didn't score too well. So it just really didn't happen for us. Coming into round 25, it's the same team the way it is. This is the last, we're the last legs of the season. I thought we performed really well towards the end of the season there. I just think I got to be a little bit more better with chopping and changing in the mid-season. Not too much, where my trades and all that sort of stuff, but also making the smarter trades. And when you have someone that's underperforming in that, maybe really just cut them dry and move on, not try to hold on. But also, with certain players, understand that 1 or 2 weeks is, it is what it is. They will perform again and again. So, it is what it is. This is all learning experience, and it's been amazing talking footy. This is stuff I really enjoy. This is why I can't wait for the NFL fantasy and all that sort of stuff. So get excited for that. But if you got any comments down below what you thought of the season was, obviously not great. We end up 15,000 in NRL fantasy. Not too bad, but it is what it is. Comment down below, like and subscribe. Check out all my videos coming through. Check your notification bell for my NFL video. Should be Monday next week, hopefully, if I get a draft going. And yeah, peace out, boys. Take it easy.